new business opportunities, generate employment, and drive development throughout the Five Islands and Grays Green communities. The project is expected to include student housing, modern learning facilities, and technology-focused infrastructure.
It will transform the whole Five Islands area. It will effectively turn Five Islands into a university city. And this, because it is such a purpose-built campus, we have the benefit of the experiences of other university campuses around the world. We have the benefit of modern technology that can really ensure that all the boxes are ticked for what you want in a modern campus, complete with the AI and technology facilities and the climate resilience and so on.
Bidders have until the end of July to submit their proposals, with officials hoping construction can begin in the final quarter of this year. Shanakisha Francis, ABS News.
Thanks so much, Shanakisha. Meanwhile, government is urging local businesses to prepare for opportunities expected to come from the UWI expansion project. Education Minister Honorable Daryl Matthews says international companies that win contracts will need local partners to provide goods and services.
Overseas companies, they are looking for partners in Antigua and Barbuda to work with. If you can imagine, let's say, for example, a company from England, just to draw a reference, wins the bid and they're awarded the contract. They don't want to import trucks and cranes and those sort of things in Antigua. If there are companies locally that have that capacity, they will engage them and partner with them.
And the minister also says local engineers, surveyors, trucking operators and other service providers should register with the procurement unit to improve their chances of securing work.
You need to go get your company registered, get your business registered. Come and register with us in the Ministry of Works, the procurement unit over on Fries Hill Road, just across from Premier Beverages. Go and register so that when we get requests, who are the companies in Antigua and Barbuda that can provide land surveying services, who can provide trucking services, who can provide whatever. There's a repository of persons that's there for which they can tap into and partner with.
Minister Matthew also says the government wants to see a strong multiplier effect from the project, ensuring Antigua and Barbuda's businesses and workers share in the economic benefits generated by the project's development. Well, employers, including the government, are calling on employees to ensure when they seek higher education, their programs of study are accredited. Minister for Education, Honorable Daryl Matthews, says he also says it is employees need to take responsibility to ensure their qualifications come with quality assurance and are relevant. Only then will they merit promotion or salary increases.
Many persons, particularly those who own businesses, would hate to know that they're being approached by staff for salary increases. And in this case, I would say government as well, the largest employer in the country. Salary increases because persons have attained new knowledge, which we encourage. But you want to know that this knowledge is credible.
The Minister Matthew also says the work of the Antigua Barbuda National Accreditation Board, ABNAB, is even more important now with degree mills on the rise.
And without institutions like ABNAB, it is tremendously difficult in a world where technology moves faster than our ability to regulate. And we see institutions popping up online all the time, offering PhDs in 6 months. And no one insists that you call them doctor more than a person who has gone to a 6-month institution for their PhD. But we need to ensure that the public is adequately informed.
News now from the nation's legislature. The Senate has approved legislation aimed at providing greater support for families who lose loved ones through wrongful death. The Fatal Accidents Bill replaces a law that has been on the books for more than a century now, as Shanakisha Francis now reports.
The Fatal Accidents Bill 2026 replaces a law that has been in place for more than a century. Leader of Government Business in the Senate, Shanella Gavaya, explained the legislation provides greater support for families who lose loved ones through wrongful death.
I tell my friends and I tell my nieces and my family members, sometimes when you leave home, you're not driving for yourself, you're driving for those who are driving, not yourself. You have to be so, sometimes you pass them, you're going over a speed bump, they fly past you. And it's crazy, Madam President. So this type of legislation, Madam President, is putting laws in place to protect families of these victims.
Opposition Senator Malika Parker also supported the bill, but raised questions about some of its provisions. She argued that the law should better reflect the realities of modern family life.
We on this side are happy. We give full force to the objectives of this bill, some of which Leader Gavaya there would have mentioned. But we wish to say that in modernizing this legislation, Madam President, I think we should do it more comprehensively than we have done. And so I'm going to beg for some time, because this bill is such a constructive bill.
Independent Senator Jamila Kirwan described the bill as a timely update to an outdated law. She says it takes a more compassionate approach to supporting families after tragedy.
One of the most commendable aspects of this legislation is that it recognizes the consequences of a wrongful death and that it extends far beyond financial loss. When a loved one dies because of another person's negligence or wrongful act, families lose much more than an income. They lose companionship, they lose guidance, emotional support.
The bill received broad support in the Senate and now only needs the Governor General's assent to become law. Shanakisha Francis, ABS News.
Meanwhile, Government Senator Shakwana Neal welcomed what he called the timely fatal accidents bill. He emphasized that footage from dash cams can greatly assist in the law enforcement crackdown on reckless driving.
Many times this call on Facebook, Madam President, you see in videos being posted with a vis taking over 3 cars on Airport Road, on Arsenals Road, on Factory Road. And I'm saying to Madam President that once you have dash cams in your vehicles, you're basically helping the police to crack down on
$1,000, or even additionally to the regulation, now peg the $20,000 to the rising inflation.
The bill was passed without amendment. Meanwhile, Fabian Jones has been reappointed to the Senate by the Barbuda Council. The Honourable Senator took the oath of allegiance as Parliament's upper house began its sitting this morning.
I will faithfully bear true allegiance to the state of Antigua and Barbuda, its constitution and laws, so help me God.
I wish to acknowledge Senator Jones. Welcome back. You didn't get to be a part of the fanfare and all the glam on the first session. We're very happy to see your face, and I was pleasantly surprised this morning when I was told that you'd be taking your oath this morning. So again, welcome back.
Senator Jones's reappointment completes the 17 appointments to the Senate. The Constitution requires that 11 senators are appointed on the advice of the Prime Minister, one of whom must be a native of Barbuda, 4 on the advice of the Leader of the Opposition, 1 by the Governor General on his own volition, and the other by the Barbuda Council. A major developing story now. Airport officials are reporting major progress on the airlift rehabilitation project. The $55 million overhaul is due for completion this November. And the news is that it is on schedule and under budget. Our news team sought an update today. Here's our Ursula Charles Jr.
When we last sought an update on the airlift rehabilitation project at the VC Bird International, officials were just completing Phase 6. That included the runway 25 turn pad, where the team dismantled the old turning bay and constructed another, installed the runway and safety area and the blast pad, and began the runway edge lighting system. And so, to date, phases 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, and 8B have now all been done. Airport Operations Manager Rex Daly takes us through the work now being completed in Phase 3.
We're now in Phase 3, where we are completing the reconstruction of the displaced threshold. That displaced threshold, where the sub-base was failing miserably, so we had to go down, remove that sub-base, build it back up.
That phase is due for completion in just under 1 week. Up to 30 workers are moving simultaneously across phases. Phase 9 is also being done, providing better security and emergency services for the airport.
This includes the additional parking stand west of stands number 14 east of the fire hall. This also includes paving of the area in front of the fire hall and also relocating the sewage septic tank from its current location to a little bit west of the paved area.
And Phase 10 will soon be the next segment to be completed, The good news is that the project is not only running according to the original timeline, it's also coming in under budget. The initial estimates were for $55 to $60 million.
The project is coming in below pre-tendering budget. So there are instances where we went into our contingency, but still, in terms of cost overrun, there's none.
We're reporting from the tarmac of the major VC Bird International Airport Airlift Rehabilitation Program. The forecast $55 to $60 million project set to be done on time and on the budget. That project near 91% complete. Reporting for ABS News, I'm Ursula Charles Jr.
Ursula, thanks. And of course, our news team will continue to track the progress on this major overhaul of the airport. Now, 8 Antiguans and Barbudans are now safely back on land after being rescued from a sinking vessel in waters northwest of Antigua this morning. Here's the latest, the dramatic incident, all caught on camera. Head of Adventure Antigua, Eli Fuller, spoke with ABS News about what happened. A distress call mid-morning Monday. A vessel with 8 Antiguans and Barbudans heading home from St. Kitts was sinking. Owner of Adventure Antigua, Eli Fuller, sprang into action after receiving a notification from a fisherman.
We left Jolly Harbor not really knowing where to go. Very quickly we were able to get in touch with the Coast Guard over the VHF radio, and they gave us coordinates, GPS coordinates, which showed a position about 19 miles northwest of Antigua, sort of halfway between Antigua, well, not halfway, but on the way towards St. Bart's kind of thing, you know, out there.
However, information was coming in about another maritime incident, which almost led to confusion as Fuller and his team attempted to locate the vessel with the 8 Antigans.
One of my crew back on land sent me a video of, you know, people being rescued off of a boat, saying, hey, they're rescuing them, everything's okay. And the video showed, I'm sure everybody's seen the one from St. Kitts, showed, you know, a lot of people getting on board of the vessel, but it also showed land in the background. And I was like, hold on there a second. This GPS coordinate that we got from the Coast Guard, there's no land around there. So are we sure that this is the same thing? You know, it was nearly a situation where, you know, the search would be almost called off by people who didn't have the correct information. So we called the Antigua and Barbuda search and rescue people, who usually know everything about everything when it comes to search and rescue. And they said, yes, it's a coincidence, but there's actually 2 vessels sinking at the same time.
The vessel was then located about 19 miles northwest of Antigua, by which time a ship had diverted to their location and started the rescue mission.
We communicated with the captain, and they agreed that we should take the people, and a little bit of messing around, and you know, we were able to get them on board.
The 8 were then taken onto Fuller's vessel and transported to mainland Antigua, shaken but relieved and largely unhurt. Fuller says several factors played a role in the positive outcome.
ABSAR, Antigua and Barbuda Search and Rescue, they actually sent a boat down shortly afterwards. The Coast Guard arrived shortly after we got everybody on board. But, you know, the captain and crew of the vessel that sunk, like, they did a really good job of making sure everybody quickly put on life jackets, because they sunk. From the time they realized something was going wrong to the time the boat was underwater, it was under 10 minutes. And so they got themselves prepared very, very quickly. They had emergency message sent with the GPS coordinates. They were very prepared to be at sea.
A potential maritime disaster averted by quick and collaborative action. Well, meanwhile, another maritime rescue is also happening around the same time in the region. Here's the latest. All 47 passengers and crew aboard the inter-island ferry Apple Cider were safely rescued this morning after the vessel experienced difficulties and began submerging just minutes after departing Basseterre in St. Kitts for Nevis. According to initial reports from the St. Kitts and Nevis Observer, the ferry encountered problems just minutes into its routine voyage, prompting an emergency response from the St. Kitts and Nevis Coast Guard and other responders. Well, video footage circulating on social media showed passengers wearing life jackets floating in the water as rescue teams worked to bring them to safety while the vessel partially submerged. Both Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Dr. Terence True, and Premier of Nevis, Mark Brantley, confirmed they had been briefed on the situation as well. Well, former Executive Director of the Directorate of Gender Affairs, Sheila Rousseau, has been elected to the prestigious UN Committee on the Elimination of Discrimination Against Women, or CEDAW. The latest is that, according to a release by the Directorate of Gender Affairs, Rousseau was elected by an overwhelming majority of United Nations member states. She will now join an elite body of independent experts responsible for monitoring implementation of the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, widely regarded as the International Bill of Rights for Women. Now, the Directorate also says Rousseau's election reflects decades of outstanding leadership and unwavering commitment to advancing the rights of women and girls, both in Antigua and Barbuda and internationally. The Directorate of Gender Affairs has extended its heartfelt congratulations and has wished her every success in the role. Well, Foreign Affairs Minister, the Honourable E.P. Chent Green, has today paid a courtesy call on the Honourable Shirley Ayorkor-Botchway, the Commonwealth Secretary-General, at the Commonwealth Secretariat in London in the UK. Minister Green, who serves as chair of the National Task Force for the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting CHOGM 2026, is in London to chair the Commonwealth Preparatory Committee meetings scheduled from the 30th of June to the 3rd of July at Marlborough House. Member states will engage in substantive discussions on the Zero Draft Communique and key agenda items for CHOGM 2026. Secretary-General Botchway welcomed Minister Green and reaffirmed the Secretariat's commitment to working closely with Antigua and Barbuda to deliver a successful and consequential summit. The meeting provided an opportunity to review ongoing preparations for CHOGM 2026 in St. John's, including program structures for the official forums and wider logistical planning. Minister Green was accompanied by Antigua-Barbuda's High Commissioner to the UK, Her Excellency Karen Mehill, as well as Minister Councillor Chantal Phillip and Second Secretary Brent Scotland. In related news, a Commonwealth Leaders' Luncheon was held in London as preparations continue for the 28th Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting CHOGM to be staged in this country from November 1 to 4 this year. Here's the latest. It was staged by the Antigua-Barbuda High Commission in London, the Commonwealth Enterprise and Investment Council CWIC, and the Sustainable Markets Initiative. The luncheon brought together Commonwealth partners, business leaders, and key supporters of Antigua-Barbuda's hosting of CHOGM 2026. The event opened with welcome remarks by Her Excellency Karen Mehill, High Commissioner of Antigua-Barbuda to the UK, followed by remarks from the Honourable E.P. Chent Green, Minister for Foreign Affairs, Trade and Immigration, and Chair of the CHOGM 2026 Task Force. The Commonwealth Business Forum was a central focus of the luncheon. Minister Green noted that the forum will be aimed at connecting businesses with decision makers, identifying practical investment opportunities, and supporting prosperity across the Commonwealth. Well, public and private sector stakeholders are being equipped with the tools needed to better navigate an evolving global trade environment. A 4-day training program opened early today with a focus on strengthening policymaking and negotiating skills in the services sector. Our Shanakisha Francis was there.
Public and private sector stakeholders are taking part in a 4-day OECS-supported training program designed to strengthen trade policy and negotiation skills in the services sector. The initiative brings together stakeholders to better understand regional and international trade agreements and identify opportunities for economic growth.
Our nation has long demonstrated that despite the constraints associated with small size, geographic vulnerability, and exposure to external shocks, we possess the determination to compete successfully in the global marketplace.
Director of International Trade Joy Marie King says building expertise in trade policy is essential for a country where services remain the main driver of economic activity.
The rapidly evolving global trading environment presents new opportunities, but it also demands new competencies.
OECS Senior Technical Specialist Dolores Francis says the training is also designed to help the private sector better understand the opportunities created through regional integration. She says businesses must be prepared to take advantage of the benefits negotiated through the OECS Economic Union and other trade agreements.
The success of the OECS Economic Union will not be measured solely by agreements we sign or policies we build, but it will be measured by the extent to which our businesses, our professionals and our institutions are aware of these opportunities, are prepared to seize them, and are equipped to compete successfully within an increasingly integrated regional and global marketplace.
The training continues through Thursday with sessions focused on trade in services, regulatory reform, and international trade negotiations. Shanakisha Francis, ABS News.
Much more to come, of course, in our newscast, but here's a programming note. Be sure to join us tomorrow morning at 6 for another riveting edition of Antigua Barbuda Today. Here's a look at some of the guests you'll be hearing from tomorrow. An eclectic mix of subjects, always edifying, always entertaining, and always the best way to start your day. The program starts at 6, ends at 9. Up next, more of the stories that we're closely following for you this evening, including this one. A resident of this country is looking to cash in on the country's investment, the country's construction boom, and he's focusing on building homes to scale, prototype homes. We'll explain, and how he's looking to work with other stakeholders on this initiative. Plus, a bit later on in sports, all the very latest on the cycling, which happened over the weekend. The cycling championships, well, produced powerful performances. And the latest on the World Cup, Germany is out, on the way home. Paraguay defeating them on penalties. Yes, it's that stage of the World Cup where it has to be a winner, and even if penalties have to decide it, Germany learned the hard way today. Up next in sports, a bit later on in sports with Terry Andrew, but first the break ahead of more national news. Do stay with us, please.
At Nagico, the things that matter to you matter to us. Like knowing you're covered when your house gets flooded, getting your settlements quickly and fairly when a fire hits your home, and making sure your business can keep going even after an accident happens on site. At Nagico, we're about much more than just insurance. We're about the big things and the small things that mean everything.
Welcome to Hadid Dental Clinic, where your oral health and beautiful smile are our top priority. We utilize state-of-the-art technology, like advanced panoramic X-rays, for precise diagnostics. Our experienced team is dedicated to providing comprehensive dental care, from routine checkups and restorative procedures to enhancing your smile with professional teeth whitening. At Hadid Dental, we embrace innovation, like advanced intraoral scanning for accurate digital impressions, ensuring the highest quality and efficiency in your treatment. Whether it's complex procedures or detailed imaging, our commitment is to your lasting oral health. Hadid Dental Clinic. Your smile, our priority. Visit us today.
ACB, drive to 70. With ACB, we know BYD SUV.
It's been 70 years, let's celebrate.
Our legacy strong, our future's great, yeah, yeah.
Every loan, every tap that you do brings that BYD SUV closer to you.
Drive to 70, let we celebrate. ACB strong, the future's great. Drive to 70, keep the party alive. Come with our SUV and take the champion drive.
Every loan you take, every tap you make.
Yes, each one gives you more chances to win.
The prize? A brand new BYD SUV.
70 years strong, take a victory ride. Drive to 70, keep the party alive. Come with our SUV and take the champion drive.
Terms and conditions apply.
Place so hot, Jack. I can't take this heat. Please, just do something about it. I can't take it anymore. It's not even summer yet.
He knew exactly what to do, because when the heat is this disrespectful, you don't just need a fan, you need a plan. He headed straight to Mikasa Imports, the home of media cooling, for our sleek 12,000 DTU to the heavy-hitting 24,000 and 36,000 BTU models. Starting as low as $18.99, Mikasa has the perfect fit for every room. For a limited time, you get free installation with your purchase. Professional, fast, and zero hassle.
Hey, baby. And I got the 36,000 BTU just for you, baby.
Oh, that sounds big.
I know you like it big.
I do.
Later that night.
Baby, what's wrong?
It's too cold.
Too cold.
Lock off the AC. It's too cold.
Yeah, but you said bigger is better.
Not this time.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with us here and tuning with the ABS Evening News on air and online. More national news now, because one resident is seeking to play a part in the country's construction boom by using his skills in designing housing prototypes. The Dominican native is looking to partner with architects and other stakeholders in the construction industry to drive further growth in the crucial sector. Our Philana Johnson recaps his recent comments on Antigua Barbuda today.
So you could see the whole concept of upstairs, downstairs.
And downstairs.
Yes, that's how I do them.
Meet Doreen Nicholas, showcasing the first scale model home inclusive of lighting he created since moving to Antigua and Barbuda. He creates prototypes of objects including boats and houses from scratch.
But I more take interest in the house models because I'm into construction. That's what I do from small. So I get to understand the way to build and create my own designs.
Nicholas decided to move to Antigua on the advice of others who did not believe his business would thrive in his homeland of Dominica. He hopes to work with others, such as architects and homeowners.
And there are people who cannot read plans. They have no understanding of that. So even if the contractor comes to them, they will not understand what is going to be built. So if you have the model, you could point out to the people and then they would definitely understand, well, look is what my home is looking like. Yes. And let's say you have your house already, but you want to build a miniature of it to put inside of your house as a model. I do all this.
Philana Johnson, ABS News.
All right, of course, our thanks to Philana Johnson for keeping us across that developing story as well. All right, of course, a reminder that the GIS has been carrying the remainder of the sitting of the Senate, still actually going on as we speak. So live shots there from the Parliament building as the Senate President, Alyncia Williams-Grant, the Honourable Senate President, giving, I suppose, the close to the end there. So GIS is bringing continuing coverage of the closing stages of today's Senate sitting, a marathon Senate sitting today. Turning our attention to the weather report and forecast. Joining us this evening is Bernal Simon. Bernal will tell us what we can expect for tonight into tomorrow. Is there any sort of moisture that we experienced over the weekend? Could we see a repeat of that later on tonight into tomorrow? Or is it a return to dry conditions? Good evening to you, Bernal. What are we seeing?
Good evening, Garfield. And as the last thing you said, unfortunately, it's a return to dry conditions. As that moisture has moved off to the west now, and in its wake, dry and stable and hazy air mass moving into the area, which will result in restriction of shower activity across the area over the next 24 hours. We have more details after this short break.
The weather report is brought to you by Leeward Islands Hurricane Protection.
When the skies are clear and the winds are calm, we often forget how unpredictable Mother Nature can be. But when a hurricane strikes, it's the strength of your home that matters most. Whether you are preparing for your first storm or looking to upgrade your current protection, Leeward Islands Hurricane Protection has got you covered. Our expert team handles everything from custom design to professional installation, ensuring your home is as strong as it is beautiful. Call today for a free consultation. Leeward Islands Hurricane Protection, built strong to weather any storm.
As mentioned earlier, we did have a tropical wave moving across the island yesterday with brought a bit of shower activity. Came through the islands a bit fragmented. Most of the showers remain offshore, and all the waves have moved off to the northwest, much more consolidated, as we would say, as we see a lot of shower activity and thunderstorm activity associated with the wave. In its wake, however, a dry and stable air mass sits across most of the eastern Caribbean. Not much in the way of shower activity anticipated over the next 24 hours. So we're looking at generally fair to partly cloudy and hazy conditions with very little in the way of shower activity during that time. So forecast conditions for tomorrow, Tuesday, across Antigua and Barbuda, Puerto Rico, and the British Virgin Islands, and the Leeward Islands. Fair to partly cloudy conditions with only a slight chance of a brief shower. More shower activity across the southern islands as the ITCZ continues to impact that portion of the island chain. On the outside, currently mostly fair and hazy conditions with a current temperature of 26 degrees Celsius or 79 degrees Fahrenheit as winds come from the east-southeast at about 10 miles per hour. Overnight across Antigua and Barbuda, mostly fair conditions are expected to continue with only a slight chance of a brief shower. Minimum temperature tonight of 24 degrees Celsius or 75 degrees Fahrenheit as winds come from the east-southeast at about 8 to 16 miles per hour. Tomorrow across Antigua and Barbuda, partly sunny and hazy conditions once again, with only a slight chance of a brief shower moving across the island. Maximum temperature of 33 degrees Celsius or 91 degrees Fahrenheit can be expected as winds come from the east-southeast at 12 to 21 miles per hour, gusting a bit higher over open waters and also in elevated areas. Our sunrise time will be 5:36 a.m. and the sun will set at 6:45 p.m. Looking at marine conditions, these are moderate to locally rough, waves getting as high as 5 to 7 feet or 1.5 to 2.1 meters. For this reason, small craft operators and beachgoers are asked to exercise some caution when venturing out at sea over the next 24 hours. In our extended weather forecast for this evening, we see over the next couple of days generally fair to partly cloudy conditions with only a moderate chance of a brief passing shower, mainly during the early morning hours, as a generally stable air mass continues to sit across the area over the next couple of days. Winds will come from the east-southeast at 12 to 21 miles per hour Tuesday and Wednesday, shifting to the east Thursday and Friday. Sea conditions 5 to 7 feet over the next 24 hours and decreasing to 4 to 6 feet Wednesday through to Friday. Maximum temperature of 33 degrees Celsius or 91 degrees Fahrenheit and a minimum of 24 degrees Celsius or 75 degrees Fahrenheit can be expected during that 4-day period. And here ends our weather package for this evening. We go back to Garfield for the continuation of tonight's news.
All right, Bernal, thank you so much. Back to dry conditions. We hope for more fecund showers when the next wave passes, hopefully soon. Thank you so much. Bernal Simon with the weather report and forecast. He and his colleagues in the Met Office always ensure that we are the place for credible and timely updates on your forecast. Up next, a quick look at news overseas. One of the stories that we're tracking, the latest from Venezuela, where the search is continuing, a desperate search now because hopes have been fading of finding any more survivors following the twin earthquakes last Wednesday. We'll have the very latest from Caracas and elsewhere in Venezuela. And a bit later on, Andy Burnham, Britain's Prime Minister in waiting. He outlines plan to shift power from London. We'll have more from his big speech today, upcoming. Stay with us.
Reporting live from Caribbean Union Bank's press conference, where bank representatives will address its customers and the media, explaining just how CUB simplifies life through its financing.
Today, my team and I will share with you how CUB's financial solutions are designed to simplify your life. Now, let's open the floor for any questions that you may have.
How can you help me as a retirement?
That's a good question. We offer customized retirement solutions at competitive rates.
How easy is it for me to switch my mortgage to CUB?
With attractive interest rates and minimal switching fees, CUB makes switching mortgages easy.
Do you offer point-of-sale machines?
Absolutely. All point-of-sale systems can speed up checkout and boost sales.
Those were great questions, and our team is here to further support you. We're Caribbean Union Bank, the bank that cares, and our doors are open to welcome you.
Antigua and Barbuda will be at the center of global business this November. For the first time in its history, the country will host the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting, CHOGM. A key part of those discussions will be the Commonwealth Business Forum. It will be hosted by the Commonwealth Secretariat in partnership with the government of Antigua and Barbuda and the Commonwealth Enterprise and Investment Council, CIWE.
The road to CHOGM will therefore focus on new initiatives for high-impact investments, building deeper trade and investment partnerships.
A lot of business people will come to our country and they will share technological developments, they will share investment opportunities, and we certainly want to make sure that our local business people are at the table.
Decision makers and thought leaders in business will converge on Antigua for this blockbuster event. Local businesses will get their chance to network and explore cutting-edge partnerships to take their enterprises to the world. The sub-region will also be engaged as the forum will feature the Investment Summit with a participation from the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union. Find out how you and your business can be a part of the Commonwealth Business Forum from November 2 to 4, 2026. Contact the planning office today at 464-5113. The Commonwealth Business Forum will be game-changing. Be a part of it. Thank you so much for staying with us. Time now for a look at news overseas, starting in the region. Emergency teams assisted by rescue dogs continued searching on Sunday for any remaining survivors after two powerful earthquakes struck Venezuela last Wednesday. The death toll has now climbed above 1,450, and the critical 72-hour window when the chances of rescuing people trapped beneath the rubble are highest has officially passed. Here's more from France 24.
Rescue efforts carry on in Venezuela as hope slowly starts to fade. The search continues with the initial window of finding survivors now past. La Guaira was the hardest hit area in Venezuela. Since Wednesday's quakes, locals have been taking matters into their own hands to locate the missing. Anguished families continue to plead for the necessary tools to help clear the rubble.
We want support. We want heavy machinery. We want to take our family members with us. I'm not the only one in this situation. They're almost not going to let us in here anymore. They haven't helped us clear the rubble.
While local residents have expressed frustrations with the government's slow response in the quake's aftermath, the operation appears more organized after international rescue missions arrived Sunday.
Meanwhile, the Development Bank of Latin America and the Caribbean, or CAF, has established a new fund to support Venezuela's recovery efforts and reconstruction following the earthquakes that struck the country on June 24. The Venezuela Recovery and Reconstruction Fund was announced on June 26 and is designed to mobilize public, private and international contributions to help address the country's immediate and long-term needs. The initiative comes in addition to the US $300,000 in humanitarian assistance that CAF had already pledged for emergency response efforts. As part of its initial commitment, CAF will contribute $1 million in seed funding to launch the mechanism and finance priority initiatives. The institution said it will not charge administrative fees, ensuring that all contributions go directly towards emergency response and rebuilding efforts. Those stories taking us to have a look at regional developments. Up next, a quick look at news internationally. And we'll take you to the UK, where the country's Prime Minister-in-waiting has laid out his big vision for the UK. Up next, stay with us.
From the richness of the Caribbean soil,
fresh, pure, naturally powerful.
from wholesome roots to irresistible crunch. Made for your kitchen, your business,
your lifestyle.
Export quality, Caribbean grown.
Crispa, real Caribbean, real flavor. Available now.
Every day starts somewhere. At home, with family, with the things that matters most. With the right brands that put smiles on faces. And when the day takes you up and about, to relax, to celebrate, to enjoy time with friends, you bring that care with you, from everyday essentials to moments worth celebrating. Anjo Wholesale, delivering quality products since 1890 for every moment.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with us. Stand by for a look at news farther afield. And Britain's Prime Minister in waiting, Andy Burnham, has pledged to overhaul the country's political system by shifting more power to the regions and promoting cooperation over political division. Well, unveiling a 10-year vision for what he calls good growth, Burnham says his plan would decentralize decision-making, strengthen local governments and governments, and drive long-term economic growth across the country. Here's more from Reuters.
Number 10 North will be the nerve centre of a rewired Britain. I am going to do things differently. I am going to break with the more of the same approach that has got us here. I am going to give Britain the circuit breaker it needs. We will bring about the biggest rebalancing of power our country has seen. It is time for Whitehall to accept that growth cannot be ordered from the top down. Instead, it can only be nurtured from the bottom up. Ours will be a 10-year mission to raise living standards across the land. To do this, Number 10 North will support the regions on 3 clear tasks: reform of essential utilities, reindustrialisation, and the regeneration of places. The change will be the biggest change in our lifetimes to the way the country is run, and it is consistent with the 2024 manifesto. We will create a more streamlined state with a clearer purpose to power up all parts of the country and put a laser-like focus on growth and regeneration, good growth.
All right, a quick, just before we go over to Terry, we should tell you that the marathon Senate sitting has just ended within the past few minutes. The chamber now empty, so senators, after a marathon sitting today, would have just adjourned the sitting sine die. So the Senate marathon sitting. We'll have, of course, in subsequent newscasts, have more on what was discussed. 5 pieces of legislation plus 2 resolutions. Or turning our attention to the sporting developments, Terry Andrew joins us. A lot to talk about in cycling, Terry, locally, but internationally, Germany is out of the World Cup at the round of 32.
Yeah, certainly they were stunned by Paraguay in penalties today after a back and forth in extra time. It was just not separated in regulation. So they went to penalties and more drama. But of course, a rare feat accomplished in the National Cycling Championship. So over the weekend, we'll tell you more about those stories when we come back. Stay with us.
The FIFA World Cup is coming, and all eyes are on Lamine Yamal.
You like it?
Welcome back. As promised, we begin with cycling. Cyclist Alexander Whitaker completed the double in the National Cycling Championships over the weekend. Here's more in the report. Whitaker claimed the INET National Individual Time Trial Championship in the elite men's category on Saturday, finishing in a time of 23 minutes, 42.71 seconds over a 5.437 kilometer course. Then on Sunday, Whitaker returned and took the top-ranking national championship individual road race. Though Grenadian Abiel Fleming crossed the finish line first overall in the elite men's race, as an international competitor, he was not eligible for the national championship title. Robert March was second and Newell Mack placed third in the individual championship. According to Whitaker, completing the double is an honour of a lifetime. He spoke after the championship ride.
My game plan was to ride as a bunch. Yeah. And last 30k time. Yeah. Attack on the downhill. Yeah. Attack on the uphill after the airport. That was my plan. Yeah. And then every time no one was racing, everyone was just watching me. Yeah. So if I move, everybody moved. But if I did move, like everyone just stayed. Nobody tried to win their own race. Yeah. That's why I just like. It ended up just being nice, enjoyable. Loved it.
Terry Andrew, ABS Sports. In cricket, West Indies captain Hayley Matthews says the Maroon Warriors have nothing to lose as they prepare to face Australia in the ICC Women's T20 World Cup semi-finals. Matthews, speaking to reporters on Monday, says they have not played their best. Well, they still have not played their best at this tournament, and if they are to be successful, the Caribbean cricketers will have to stand out.
We're really excited as a group.
we certainly feel like coming up against Oz, we have nothing to lose, and that puts us in a position where we can be quite fearless going out there. It's obviously been quite a journey to get here, but I think as a team we're really proud of probably the way we've played so far, but still know that we haven't been at our best, which gives us a lot of confidence knowing that we can still get a lot better. Coming up against a team like Oz, who we know has a bunch of great players and superstars, we're going to have somebody stand out and do something special, but also have a lot of different people from the team contribute.
The West Indies and Australia semi-final clash will bowl off at the Oval at 9:30 a.m. tomorrow. In semi-final 2 between host England and South Africa, it will be on Thursday at the same venue. Now in World Cup action, Brazil and Paraguay are through to the round of 16 at the 2026 FIFA World Cup with wins today in the round of 32. A 95th minute winner by Martinelli kept Brazil's dream of a 6th World Cup triumph alive after they came from behind to defeat Japan 2-1 in Houston. Kaishu Sano had given Japan a 29-minute lead. Then on resumption from the break, Casemiro equalized in the 56th minute. Also on Monday, Paraguay knocked out 4-time champions Germany on penalties 4-3 after a 1-1 scoreline after extra time. Julio Enciso headed Paraguay into a shock lead in the 42nd minute, but Germany produced an equalizer through Kai Havertz to level the scores at 1-1. Of course, Paraguay went on to defeat the 4-time champions Germany 4-3 on penalties. Later, well, in a short while, Netherlands and Morocco will go head-to-head in Mexico. More football news. The Antigua and Barbuda Football Association has announced a 21-man squad for the CONCACAF Under-20 Championship to be held in Mexico. Here's more in this report. The squad includes both overseas-based players and players playing here at home in the domestic leagues. The goalkeepers selected are Gavin Gonzalez, Tegan Gomes, and Mikhail Phillip. Defenders named are Jordan Francis, Ivan Grant, Joshua Roach, Javon Jarvis, Seth Blacklane, Zidane Williams, and Dejari Barkley. Obadiah Brown, Jaden Ray, Blake of Philo Jean Badesi, Marco Mitchell, Sadiq Adams, Brendan Skilling, Vaughn Jackson Jr., and Elijah White completes the midfielders. The forwards selected are Conroy Brown, Greg Williams, and Brandel Stacher. Head coach is Cheyenne Jeffers, and his assistants are Donovan Perth and Derek Prettyboy Edwards. The squad is expected to depart the island on July 2nd, ahead of the CONCACAF Championship, which will run from July 24 to August 9th. Terry Andrew, ABS Sports. In athletics, a strong 16-member team will represent Antigua and Barbuda at the 2026 Association of National Olympic Committees of the Eastern Caribbean Track and Field Championships to be held at the Kim Collins Stadium in St. Kitts from the 4th to the 5th of July. The team comprises national 100 and 200-meter champion Giolina Dowdy, Carifta Javelin silver medalist Zanique Campbell, sprinter Sanaya Jones, Ketia Ambus, Shanika Benchich, and Carifta Javelin bronze medalist Malik Francis. Also part of the team are Jalen Dyatt, Cleon Joseph, Craig Pendergrast, Kadeem Campbell, Amori Jules, Dion Shaw, Terrence Thomas, Christopher Johnson, Shonze Josephs, and Devon Thomas. The delegation will be led by Heather Samuel Daly, and Director of Sports Heather Samuel Daly, Kesman Anthony, coach, and Daniel Bailey, coaches, Kesman Bailey and Daniel Bailey. Kesman Anthony and Daniel Bailey. Cliff Williams, the association's board member, will also attend to support the hosting and planning of future events and the Congress. And finally, in tennis from Wimbledon, Yannick Sinner began his title defense at Wimbledon with victory as the grass court Grand Slam gets on the way at the All England Club. The world #1 bidding for his 5th Grand Slam title and his first since his victory at Wimbledon last year, defeated Serbian Mimor Kemanovic in a 5-setter 1-6, 6-3, 6-7, 6-2, 6-3. 7-time Wimbledon champion Novak Djokovic also had success with a 6-4, 5-7, 6-4, 6-4 win over Chinese Yubing Wu. Djokovic is targeting an all-time record of 25 Grand Slam singles titles among men and women. On the women's side, women's world #1 Arina Sabalenka put away Serbian Teodora Kostovic 6-2, 6-3. Coco Gauff won in straight sets as well over German Tamara Kopstasch 6-2, 6-1, while Naomi Osaka defeated French player Elisa Jacquemont 6-1, 7-5. Seven-time Wimbledon champion Serena Williams, who received a wildcard entry, will return to the court on Tuesday after 4 years in retirement. Williams faces Australia's Maya Joint. That's the sport. Garfield.
All right, so Terry, thank you so much. So much happening in the wonderful world of sports. The match between the Netherlands and Morocco, the Atlas Lions, has just started, Terry, in the second or so minute, and it's still 0-0. But that match is a cracker. Who do you think will win that one?
Listen, one of those teams, well, both of those teams are really good. And I'm sure a lot of people pick them for at least the final 8. Someone has to go home tonight. So, I don't know. I would say the Netherlands are going home. That's just me. Because Morocco, remember, Morocco semi-finalists over in Qatar. So I think they'll be good. I hope they're good. I think I picked them for my last 8 as well. So let me see. I think Morocco wins 2-1.
2-1. All right, Terry. All right, let's see what happens. Is Terry being the clairvoyant? Is he spot on? Or is his radar and his crystal ball off? Let's see. We'll see in another 90 minutes, perhaps another 120 minutes, perhaps even more. It might go to penalties again. That's it for the news. Really appreciate the company. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Garfield Burford. Pleasant evening, pleasant viewing.
Terry Andrew, thank you so much for watching.
City Fights Amazon, and I'm watching ABS TV. You should too. I'm out.